Hello.
Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. Cindy and I, this is unusual for us to be going on a Monday. So happy Manic Monday to everybody. We have Lana from Carb Addict, now Carnivore. Welcome, Lana. We're so excited to have you here.
Yes, we
Thank you,
are.
Sana.
We will go ahead and just kind of have a little bit of chatter so we can get some more coming into the stream. Because, as I said, this is unusual for Cindy and I to be going live on a Monday. But
But
as we
Sana's going
updated
to be busy
everybody,
Friday.
yes, but as we updated everybody, I definitely have plans come this weekend. So I could not do a Friday live stream. So I appreciate Lana for definitely working with us on rescheduling. Hello, hello. We have Lynn in the chat. Hey there, Sana, Cindy, and Lana. Welcome, welcome. Happy Monday. We hope you had a great weekend, Lynn.
So, Lana, I've
So,
looking at your channel, I saw that you do a lot of interviews.
Yes, I do. I was a TV host on an interview show for 3 seasons, and I also had a radio show that was an interview show. So, interviewing is kind of my thing.
Second
And
nature.
oh,
yeah,
that's really cool.
yeah,
And I was watching one last night. I'm not used to being by myself. It was
yeah.
good. It was good though.
What
Thank you.
were are you able to share like what some like the topics were for the interviews that you used to do?
In the past, I had a TV show called Now It's My Turn, where the 50 plus woman enjoys her life, awakens her spark, and enjoys her life.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
so I had
Mhm.
all kinds of people talking about starting over after 50 and, just so many things about health and wellness and spiritual topics and dealing with trauma and children, adult children, just so many things that we talked about. It was so much fun. I had
Yeah,
a
I like
blast.
that. I like that
Yeah.
because that sounds like it had
Yeah.
a really good variety of topics. That's really cool.
Yep.
Yes. Yes. We talked about reverse aging a lot. And so that was my TV show. My radio show was about business topics. It was about profiling your prospects to know who your target market is, and so I had a lot of business people on there, and I did 235 interviews, I believe, on that that
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
radio show. Yeah, it's
I
still
feel like
on
you're
Blog
taking me
Talk
back
Radio.
to
You can still
college.
see it. Yeah,
It's on what, Lana?
Blog Talk Radio. If you look at the Prospect Profiler show. Man, that was years ago. I did that probably 2011 for a couple of years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's neat.
Yeah, I like that. Wow. It definitely they both sound like really fun roles. Wow.
Yes.
So
TV
on,
show, especially as I'm 65. I feel like I feel way better than I did in my 30s and 40s. So
me
yeah, that
too.
rolling back those years, that's just like, yes, yes.
Yes, I can sit down cross-legged on the floor, get back up, never think of it twice. I mean, yeah, I wasn't doing that in my 40s.
Now I can't do that. I've had both of my knees replaced. So that's a little tough.
Yeah.
But I can get down on the floor and I can get back up. I got to use my knees.
Mm,
But
yeah.
hey, I
Yeah.
can do it. So,
Listen, what was bad being in my early 30s and feeling like that? Having to
well,
question, should I even be getting down on the floor?
Yeah.
Because definitely if my spouse was not home at times, I would have to be careful because I would need his help getting up off of the floor.
Yeah.
Ah, Cindy can do planks. That's right, Lynn.
briefly, very briefly.
Well, the fact is you can do them.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's something I'd never. That's a definite non-scale victory there. Because
Yes.
never. 300 pounds. No, no,
Planks
not
are no
happening.
joke. Even for
Mhm.
any amount of time, someone can actually do a plank. Oh, because
You're
it
not
takes
allowed to right
discipline.
now, Sana.
No, definitely not.
How are you feeling? Are you feeling okay, Sana?
Yes, I was actually telling Cindy backstage, I feel great, like compared to the two previous pregnancies that I've had when I was not in any spectrum of the proper human diet. I was sick the whole 9 months of both of those pregnancies.
Yes.
And to the point where, each of those pregnancies, I've lost like 80 to something, 90 pounds each of those pregnancies. I was
Wow.
very sick the whole entire time. So no food was being kept down. But of course, at those times, I had a lot of weight to spare. So of course, there was really no concern as long as I was keeping myself hydrated. Um, but with this, I've only noticed like decrease in appetite. My appetite's picking up somewhat, but it's still in comparison to what I was eating on carnivore this past over a year, it's a huge difference. So it's definitely a decrease in appetite, but thankfully, morning sickness wise, it has not shown its ugly face. I don't know as of yet if it's another non-scale victory that I can claim with carnivore or with proper human diet. So we'll kind of wait and see how that goes.
Yes.
But so far, so good.
Awesome.
Yeah,
That's the
thankfully,
important
so
thing.
far, so good.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That is so great. Yeah.
And
I don't
Lana,
know if
I
you
saw. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I don't know if you know I have 7 children.
You have a set of twins, right?
No,
Yeah,
but
I
I didn't know there
do.
were seven in
I saw
total. I
that
know
on
about the
your
twins.
video.
Yeah. Yeah, I have 7 in total. I had 3, then
Uh-huh.
I had twins, and then I waited 3 more years and I had 2 more. Yeah.
Very cool.
You
Oh,
know, when I had
wow.
my second one, I have two boys. They're 42 and 41.
Mhm.
Actually, my oldest is 43 today, and then 41.
Wow.
He, when I went to work, when I found out I was pregnant the second time, the guy, I worked with a bunch of guys mostly, and they said, "Don't you know what causes that?"
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
I had people ask me that too.
Yeah.
We had 5 under 5,
Oh
and
my goodness.
yeah, they said, "Don't you know what causes that?" And I wanted to punch somebody.
It's like, no, would you explain it?
Yeah.
Hello to Jay. Welcome, welcome. But that's very cool. 7 children. So you definitely never had a dull moment in the
Not
Oh
house.
one.
goodness, no.
Mm-mm. Not one. There were 6 boys and 1 girl.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
So,
And
yeah.
where is the girl like out of the age ranges?
She's number 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So not too bad. At least she's not the
Mm.
youngest. And
Right.
all those older brothers. Oh my
She's
gosh.
one of the middle. I
One
was
of
a
the middle
middle
kids.
child of 5. I was like, oh, what
Yeah.
they say, the middle children get the least attention.
Yeah, I was a middle child as well. Yup. Hello, Renee. Welcome, welcome.
Yeah, there were 4 girls and 1 boy in our family, and the boy was the baby.
Oh, wow.
And he was so, I mean, my mom would overly spoil him, and my dad would overly punish him. There was no happy medium there.
Mm.
You know, he was pretty it was pretty messed up, unfortunately.
Mm.
Mm.
That he passed away at 49. He was real sick.
Let us know in the chat if you come from a big family. I always think it's interesting, like the big family dynamics.
I was the oldest of 5 children, so I grew up in a large family and it was
Mhm.
just normal life for me.
Right.
Yeah. But
So I
believe me,
said,
now that I'm empty nesting, hey, I love it. I love being an
You
empty
love your
nester.
me time, I'm sure.
I love it.
yeah. My husband and I, we when we got together in 2003, 2004, I have 2 grown sons. He has a daughter that was 12. at the time. And for a while we had a very small house, and we had 13 people living in under 1,000 square foot house,
Wow.
one bathroom, and we made it work. I mean, my sons, their wives, their kids, my stepdaughter, her friends. I mean, we just had so much, but it worked. But now it's me and my husband, and it's fantastic.
And you're loving it because you moved away from everybody.
It's so peaceful. I miss them all. Don't get me wrong. I miss the kids and the grandkids, but I don't miss the drama.
Cindy, you and I are on the same page. I live in Florida. They're all up in Delaware.
Yeah. My kids
Yeah.
Oh,
and
I didn't know you were
grandkids
in
are up in,
Florida.
Yes, I'm in Florida.
they all live in New England.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, we had to go in October. My husband's mother passed away. But there's one of my granddaughters right there, Trinity.
Here, Renee is sharing 5 kids in mine. My dad had 13. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
There were 9 kids in my dad's family. It's nuts. Hi,
There's
Trinity.
Trinity.
She's the second oldest of our grandchildren. She is 22. Trinity, are you 22? 21, 22. I can't keep up.
In Delaware.
Yes, 22. I was right.
Oh, I'm in PA, just over the line. I worked in Williamton for 3 years. Oh, very cool.
Nice.
I lived up there, West Grove and Kennett Square and Longwood Gardens area and all that.
Oh, very cool.
Yep.
Because I was born and raised in New Jersey, so of course we went to Amish Village a lot.
Oh, yeah.
So that was always really fun because you kind of felt like you left and not just went from one state to another, but you felt like you went from country to country. So for anyone that has been to Amish Village would definitely understand. It is definitely a whole nother world, is definitely what it seems like. Oh, look at this, Cindy, aka the best. Yes, 22.
Yes. Yep.
I like that. So Jay's saying I'm in Kennett Square, a mile from Longwood. Very, very cool. And here is Deb. This is Cindy's sister, always coming and showing us some love and support. Happy Monday, Deb. We appreciate you.
It was great. She was here from Saturday a week ago until Wednesday. We had a lot of fun.
We have a membership at Longwood. It's where I go to walk. So is that a trail?
It's a gardens. Longwood Gardens is just
okay.
beautiful, amazing,
Nice.
magical place.
Yeah, that sounds really nice. That would definitely be somewhere I would love to definitely walk.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
then at
they
that point,
decorate.
it does not feel like exercise. It feels therapeutic when you have
Yes.
just beautiful surroundings.
Yes.
All right, now that we have a good amount in the chat, let's go ahead and have Lana do an introduction. So Lana, if you want to share a little bit about your journey as well as your channel for those that are not familiar with you as of yet.
Okay. Thank you so much, Sana and Cindy, for having me tonight. I appreciate it. So where to start? In my career, I am a published author. I have 44 published titles, have a million books sold. I'm a ghostwriter, editor, and so forth. So that's how I earn a living. And the carnivore journey, just something that I stumbled into. I had no idea about carnivore anything until I think in 2022, I was watching a homesteading channel and I saw the guy. He was having some pain and some inflammation. I saw him go on the carnivore diet for like 6 weeks to help his inflammation. Then he got off of it. Oh yeah, I feel better. Now I'm going back to eating regular. Of course, they had a garden and everything. They were really big vegetable people. And I never thought a thing about it. That's how I heard the word carnivore for the first time. Never thought it'd apply to me. And then in December of 2021, I was on a Zoom call with an old friend who looked fabulous. She was somebody that I had been in touch with often in the past, but 6 months had gone by. I don't know, 9 months had gone by. Hadn't really heard from her. She moved, and I, just waiting for her to get settled. And so, man, she looked good. I said, "You are looking fabulous." She said, "Well, I've been on the BBB&E diet." And she started telling me
okay.
about it. And I was fascinated by it, but again, didn't really think, why should I, it didn't really have anything to do with me. And so all that fall of 2022, I was having stomach aches, and my stomach would burn and hurt, and I couldn't figure out why, but I was always rubbing my stomach. Oh Lord, sorry about that. I was
That's
always
okay.
rubbing my stomach because it hurt. And so I had to figure out what was going on. It was getting worse. And I didn't want to go to the doctor. Didn't want to go to the hospital. I've had surgery on my gut before. And I definitely didn't want to go back there. So I thought, that carnivore thing is really working for my friend. I think I'm going to try that because it's an elimination diet. And I could maybe add back some stuff later and find out what was causing me to have stomach upset. So that's what I did. I thought I'll just do it for a month and then I'll add one thing back at a time. So I was on it for 2 weeks, and I was on my way to the airport. Airport is always a high anxiety event for me. And I had had anxiety all my life. All my life I'd had high anxiety. Well, I don't like medicine. I don't do medicine. And so I just toughed it out, with my anxiety. And I would try to avoid situations that caused me to be anxious. But I had to go to the airport. I was going to be speaking. I had to go for a speaking engagement, which was at Harvard in Boston. And I was so calm. I was driving to the airport. I was completely, absolutely chill. And all of a sudden I realized I am calm. What happened? And that was only 2 weeks in. And at that point, I realized there are some things going on with this carnivore eating that is changing me in ways I never imagined. I thought that was an emotional problem. It was actually a physical problem. And so that got me started. I didn't want to stop. And about 3 months in, I had been putting salt and electrolytes in my coffee. I'm not drinking coffee anymore. It dropped off. But at that point, I was really addicted to very sweet, syrupy coffee every morning. If I didn't have my coffee, I was not a happy camper. I would get upset if we were traveling and I couldn't get that sweet coffee. So I substituted salt and electrolytes for the sugar part, but I was putting heavy cream in and so forth. And one time I thought, I'm going to put artificial sweetener in my coffee. I mean, see how it goes. So I got some and I put it in, drank the coffee. And about an hour later, I got the most intense sugar cravings. I hadn't had any sugar for 3 months. My brain was on fire.
Yeah.
I just interviewed someone and she said she wanted a baby teething ring that you could bite on it,
Yeah, because it's so triggering. Yes.
Oh, that's what happened. And I didn't have anything to bite on. I was laying in my bed. I had my fists clenched and I was just like, please let me get through this, because I didn't want to lose my 3 months, that I had already been through some great improvements. And so that's when I realized that I'm addicted. I didn't just like the sweet stuff. I am addicted. And so shortly after that, I think I saw carnivore Kip struggling, with food and so forth. And I had been through it. I was going through it. And I thought, I'm going to start a channel that's about carb addiction. And
Yeah.
so that's when I started my channel. It was in March of last year. And my aim for my channel is to interview experts who are talking about this. And they're talking about addiction, not just carbs, but addiction. And
Mm-hmm.
wow, the information is just like blown me back. I had no idea. Joan Ifland, she's got a PhD. She's a food researcher since the 1980s. And she's been talking about this for all these years, 30 plus years. And she's saying that the tobacco industry purchased some of the major food corporations like Kraft, General
Mm-hmm.
Foods, and so forth. And they put the addictive qualities of cigarettes
Yes.
into food.
Mm-hmm.
What? I had no idea that was going on. So it's been eye-opening for me, and I have learned so much, and now I'm totally into it. When I'm watching a summit or I hear somebody being interviewed, I'm like, I'm getting that person. I have to get them to talk on my channel. So what a blessing to me, just to be in that space and to learn and to share, what I'm getting on the channel. So
Absolutely. Especially
yeah,
sharing that knowledge because not everyone knows like the deep, dark secrets of what's going on,
yes,
especially when it comes to the food marketing and it being very much about profits, very much about being a scheme, unfortunately.
Well, you
And
mentioned tobacco. Have you read the book A Case Against Sugar by Gary Taubes?
no,
yes, it's
One
good.
of the things in that book is it says
Uh-huh.
there is sugar in cigarettes.
Mm-hmm.
I
wow,
was
Yeah.
like, what? That blew my mind. And my son used to smoke. And I called him up.
Mm-hmm.
I said, dude, I said, not only is the nicotine addictive,
Yeah.
the sugar is too. I mean, he quit, thank goodness, a while ago now. But yeah, he was blown away. He said, I would never have guessed it, Mom. I said, me
Right.
neither. That was wild. The stuff
wow,
that has sugar in it that we don't even realize. It's
Yeah.
a,
yes,
it's incredible.
yes.
It's just
Yeah.
It's
crazy.
So it's no
such
surprise why there's an addiction, even when it comes
Mhm.
to, however anyone wants to classify, tobacco or nicotine, no wonder why there's such an addiction with it because it's very much connected with the foods that is
Yes,
very much connected with the sugar. So it really is truly what it all boils down to. Because just like you share, Lana, you were definitely in withdrawal. But then as soon as you had, just an episode of reintroducing just a little bit, it very much is what an addict goes through.
yes, yes. So that whole day of lost work. I mean, I couldn't even
Mm,
work that day because I'm a writer. I work at
right.
home, and I wasn't punching a clock. Thank God. I don't know how I would have
Yeah.
gotten through it, but that's when I realized that I can. This is way more serious to me than just some
Hmm.
stomach aches. What I was going through was an addiction cycle that I've been going through for more than 60 years because it started because I was hungry as an infant. And I had known all my life, well, I had known probably for 15 years or 20 years that I had an eating problem because of being hungry as an infant. My
Mm,
mother was 16 years old when I was born, and she did not know how to care for a child. And I went through a lot as a young newborn with her.
right.
And so that affected the chemistry in my brain, in the lizard brain, the parasympathetic or whatever you want to call that,
Right.
that had my hunger signals would not shut down. And I
Mm,
could keep eating all day and all night until I was literally sick and then keep
mm,
eating again. I mean, that is the way it was. But because I was monitoring myself all the time, I didn't put on as much weight as I could have. Both my sisters have weight issues as well. Our whole family, whenever we got together, we'd talk about weight. What are you doing now? Oh, I'm doing the cabbage soup diet. Oh, I'm doing this. I'm doing that. You know, how many times do they spend thousands of dollars on these different programs, weight loss programs? I didn't because I didn't have the money, but I would have, you know, if I could have, to fail again. And so it was a whole family thing, you know, and there was a lot of emotion tied up in that because at one point I actually went through this thought process. If I lose a lot of weight and become thin, I won't be part of the family.
Wow.
Yeah. I
Because
wouldn't
it
have.
definitely, you know, being in that mental space, that physical space, it definitely gets you having that sort of complex.
Yes, yes. Which thankfully, you know, now after I just had my carniversary in right around New Year's.
Congratulations.
You know, I've lost about 40 pounds. I've dropped sizes. I feel wonderful. And hey, I am not worried about whether I belong or not. I'm just so thrilled that I have a new lease on life now. And not just the weight, not just the size, but I feel, you know, better than I felt at 30. Of course, I was having kids every year, so I wasn't feeling too good for other reasons. But yeah, I feel so good. So
Now,
good.
Lana, this girl here is Debbie Savings. She's one of my subscribers who has a lot of gut issues. Sounds like you went through similar things
Yes.
that maybe she's gone through. If you could elaborate more on what you've done to alleviate that. She's trying carnivore this month.
Okay.
To try to help herself out. But
yes. Yes, thank you for that, Cindy. So it started out with just discomfort in my stomach, and every time I ate, my stomach would just blow up. I mean, it was like I was pregnant again. It was just my stomach would be huge every time I finished a meal. And then I would have stomach aches for no apparent reason. Couldn't figure out why. My stomach was just aching and hurting. And it was sometimes I would be restless at night sleeping because my stomach was hurting. And so I tried the carnivore diet as an elimination to just eat meat and dairy. I mean, meat, dairy, and so forth and eggs, because I figured that would get me, you know, back to square one. And then I could add one thing at a time and find out what food was irritating me. And I was a big, you know, healthy eater. I always have been so quote unquote healthy, right? With the salads and, you know, the vegetables and the whole grains and all this stuff. So I couldn't figure out what I was doing wrong because I was eating right, you know. And I always hear people say clean eating. You should eat clean, you know, but that wasn't really working for me. So I just started the carnivore journey for that reason, to try and find out why I was having stomach aches. And so, wow, I never had a stomach ache again. Once I started and I went completely carnivore, no, not adding anything else, because in my mind, I was going to do this for 1 month. And I needed to eliminate everything but animal based. And I was looking for things that have one ingredient. Just one ingredient: eggs, meat, butter. That's it. I was eating all kinds of meat, though. I was eating chicken and pork. I ate a lot of different meats. So immediately my stomach calmed down. And I always had a low energy period late morning and mid-afternoon. And that went away. I would wake up in the morning and not even be hungry. I wouldn't eat till 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock sometimes. I didn't even thinking about it because I felt fine. My body was calm. And I guess that's the one thing about being carnivore is you just get into this calm Zen state, emotionally, physically, where you just feel good. And you're not focusing on your body or on food all the time. You can get on with your life. which is
Yeah.
awesome.
Yes, because it's definitely not fun. I don't know specifically, Lana, but did you have any IBS-like symptoms? Because that's what I went through. And thankfully, carnivore resolved that for me because I felt like a prisoner in my own
Mhm.
house because if I knew there was not a restroom available, or also as women, we have a long line for some of our public restrooms, so that also puts fear in us as well to be able to go out. Did you have any experiences like that with the
I
stomach
didn't
pains you're
have
going through?
I didn't have IBS. I didn't have the, that kind of urgency. I had a
Mm.
different kind of urgency that I was, my bladder was so weak. I would be running to the
Oh
bathroom
gosh,
every
wow.
30 minutes, every hour. So I was not in that space. I was in the other space where I was
Hmm.
always looking for a bathroom. Every time I went in a
Yeah,
grocery store, I knew where every bathroom was, and I knew where the McDonald's was I stopped at, and so forth, all
right.
around town because of the urgency that way. And that has gone away too. I don't have that at all anymore. I don't really know why I was
Yeah,
having that, but it disappeared, and it was since I've been eating this way.
yeah.
That's
Same
nice.
for me. Um, So I don't know if you've been able to make a connection as of yet. For myself, because the main thing I eliminated was the veggies. Do you think that it was veggies in a whole, or do you think it was possibly like a particular veggie that you might have been eating?
I think I don't know that it was veggies in particular. It was
Hmm.
starch,
No, okay.
pasta,
Okay.
potatoes,
Uh-huh.
all those things, because my blood sugar would bottom out. And I actually had, during my last pregnancy, I had hypoglycemia, and not diabetes,
Okay.
but low
Right.
blood
Low
sugar.
blood sugar,
Mhm.
yes.
And so my blood sugar was just up and down and up and down. And my mother was diabetic in her later years. I believe I was headed that way. And so a lot of the anxiety and the low energy and the fuzzy brain and all that was simply blood sugar issues for
Mm,
me.
right.
Yeah, I was
Yep.
very addicted to starchy food, crackers, and all of that turns right into sugar when
Yeah.
once you eat it. So that was my addiction.
Now I was getting hypoglycemic episodes a couple years after I had gastric bypass,
Mm,
which I had in 2007. And I found that if I eat anything carby without offsetting it with enough protein, that's when the hypoglycemic episodes
mm-hmm.
kick in.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they're horrible. You are so right. And I had a kind of a window into what that looked like with my husband being a type 1 diabetic, where he would, before keto, he was seriously on that roller coaster with serious highs and ridiculous lows. And once I figured that out, even before keto,
Mhm.
those episodes pretty much calmed down a lot, but they're horrifying. I remember my son came to see me one day and he said he came to give, and I wasn't feeling well. I was laying on the couch. He gave me a kiss on my forehead. He said, "Mom, you're all sweaty."
Oh,
I
wow.
said, "Can you go get my meter for me? It's on my desk." And my blood sugar was 49.
Mm,
And I'm like, "Oh, heck, this
Wow,
is
how scary.
crazy." It
yeah.
is. It's horrifying, but it does. It makes your head feel all wonky and your eyesight gets messed up. You see spots in front of your eyes. It's just
Yes.
so much weird stuff. But yeah,
Yeah.
this is Christy.
Welcome, welcome. We also had Keto Simple Dustin that joined the chat. Welcome,
Yep.
welcome. And we did have Susan that did say that she missed the introduction. Does Lana have a YouTube channel? Yes, Cindy
I
has
took
been
care of
sharing
that.
it
Yep.
throughout the stream. It should be going through as a clickable link, but if anyone is still having any difficulty locating her channel, we would be more than happy to help you because we would certainly appreciate if you can go ahead and show Lana some support and some love in the form of a sub.
Yeah. See, we can't tell on this end if it's clickable. It's there again.
Yes.
Somebody tell me if it highlights in blue on your end. So that would be good to know.
But her handle name is exactly included with that. So even if you were to go to the search box on YouTube, you will certainly be able to put that in as Carb
Right.
Addict Now Carnivore, and it should pop up for you.
Thank you,
Oh,
Good.
Susan.
perfect. Susan was able to sub. Thank
And
you,
it is
thank you.
clickable.
And it's clickable.
Thank you,
Thank you so
Christy.
much, Christy.
Good.
Thank you.
But wow, you have had quite the journey. I know you mentioned some fad diets like the cabbage soup diet, which definitely rings so many bells, I'm sure for many others in the chat. Because wow,
Yep.
some of these were just doozies,
Yeah.
absolute doozies. It's hard to believe now that we even gave them any consideration, but you kind of get to a point where you're just willing to just try just anything. And I think
Mhm.
that's kind of what makes it a little bit fearful. Like when you said that your friend had mentioned BB&E and you're kind of thinking to yourself like you're doing what? You're eating what? You're only eating that? But I'm so happy that you gave it a chance.
Now, have you tried reincorporating any other foods since you went straight carnivore to
No,
see if it did bother you?
I tried eating sushi one time early on. This was right back in the first month. I had gone out to eat with some girlfriends and they wanted to go to a sushi place and they just texted me, we're going to a sushi place. So I wanted to see them. So I went over there and
Okay.
what else could I do but sushi? And I was sick for 3 days. I
Oh
always thought
gosh,
sushi was
wow.
healthy. I thought, well, that's going to be a healthy thing for me to
Mm,
have. And
But it
I
has
was
rice
so
in it,
sick.
right?
Yeah.
I've
That's
never
the
had
last
sushi.
time. I never
Yeah.
tried anything else.
Okay. 'Cause
yeah.
I went on, I did 31 days of beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. I am mostly, I would say ketovore. I do
Mm.
mostly meats, very little, if any, vegetables, but I do like my other stuff, like keto chow and things like that. And Sana laughs at me every time I bring it up because I mention them all the time. I love
Because
it.
the way she says it, and I tell her, you are doing what is
I
best
love
for
it.
you and your journey. So the way she says it sometimes, I'm like, Cindy, you are just doing what is best for you. If anyone has a
It's like,
problem with it, that's their
oh,
problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's like the best stuff. But anyhow, I have lost most of the weight that I wanted to lose and maintained that for over a year. So whatever I'm doing is working. But when
Hmm.
I went back to reintroduce food, that's where I was at. Nothing, and I've said this before, and Sana just like, nothing bothers my stomach. Nothing. I don't care what I eat. It's like, oh, this is a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I'm blessed because nothing does
Hmm.
bother me. So, yeah. We have a question.
Yes, we do
Um,
have a question. So Renee wants to know, what genre of books have you written?
I write murder mysteries.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
Published?
Really fun.
Published?
Oh yeah, I have 44 published titles.
All right.
oh my
What's your name
gosh.
on them?
My name is well, Lana McCara is my latest release. It's called The Englewood Medium. I'll put that in the chat. Um, Shaken but not stirred by Lana McCara.
Oh, I like that.
That's a cozy mystery about a stalker, and there's a murder in it as well. And then most of my books are written under the name Rosie Dow. So if you look up Rosie Dow on Amazon, you will find a whole long list of my titles. When I got a divorce in 2009, I literally changed my name. I didn't just pick a pen name. My name was Rosie Dow. So
Okay.
yeah, that's a whole nother story, but those all of them have a mystery in them. All the books that I write. I was writing in the inspirational romance / mystery genre. So I do heavy on the mystery, light on the romance, basically. It's
I,
fun.
I
It is
Yes,
love
I love,
fun.
mysteries.
yes.
I get
I
so
love
excited. I
mysteries.
get an idea. I can't sleep at night,
Uh-huh.
you know?
Wow,
Especially when
that's
there's
so
a
awesome.
plot twist. Oh, I
Yeah.
think that's what makes it the best about the mysteries
Yeah.
because you basically are guessing like the whole way through, and then that ending, boom, it's like, what? Like, what just happened? No, no, no.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I just wrote all this information down on my
Yes, that's
paper
really
here.
cool.
Thank you
So
so
Renee's
much.
saying, oh, I have one in
Oh,
my head that's been there for years.
yes. Yes.
Very, very cool.
That is so interesting. I am so glad that came out.
Yes, that was
Thank
a very
you.
good question.
Yes.
Yes, thank you for that, Renee. Yeah, because we're all going to be researching after this.
We're going to be reading your books, man.
I know.
Yeah. That's Shaken But Not Stirred is the first book that I've had in my own name for a while because I've been ghostwriting to earn a living for the last 8 years.
Mhm.
That was part of the divorce transition for me. I had to earn a
Mm,
living. I couldn't just publish books,
right,
you know,
right.
because you don't know what you're going to get when you publish your own books. So COVID gave me that space of time to write my own book for a change. And I felt like, wow, I'm back. I'm really back. Yes, it's DOW.
DOW,
DOW.
perfect.
Just like Dow Chemical. Unfortunately, no relation. Yeah.
Very
That's
cool. Wow.
awesome.
Yeah.
That is really awesome.
So when it comes to the reintroduction, because I just started myself, only because it's plans that I had for myself being an over year carnivore. And I was also kind of trying, I was getting interest in seeing possibly what out of my 4 years of keto started causing me irritations. But I am doing a very slow introduction. So far, I've only kind of accomplished testing out avocado this month. Do you have any plans for doing any sort of reintroduction?
Not at this moment. Sometimes and most of the time that I have those thoughts is when I'm
Hmm.
at a restaurant and I'm with other people
Okay.
and they're eating other
Yes.
things. Um, because I think avocado would be something that I could probably
Hmm.
add in. Um, but I'm not buying it. And I bought a jar of pickles
Okay.
because Laura
Hmm.
Spath, she eats pickles.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, maybe I could eat pickles. And I got a jar. It's been in my fridge forever, and I just don't want it. I
Yeah.
just don't want it. So, yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of where I am. I'm happy with what I have, and I just don't feel like I need anything else. I'm good.
So, do you incorporate spices at all or just salt?
I do spices, yes, mostly garlic and onion.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I have a ranch dressing powder that's in one of my cookbooks, and I make that with, onion, garlic, trying to think what else. And so I mix, there's no sugar in that. So
Hmm.
I made that up and I put it in my sour cream. And then I have ranch dip. So I started doing that just last week. I hadn't really thought about making ranch dip with sour cream. I don't know
Yeah.
why. It just never occurred to me. Um, but that was kind of a neat new thing to put pork rinds in that, for something different.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Um, and so that, I'm just so happy with eating what I'm eating that I don't feel the need to branch out much. Just
Yeah.
don't. Yeah.
Well, I can imagine once you've been through the pain and everything and been miserable for so long, and then that's just like quickly you're not. That
Right.
that's massive.
Oh, yeah.
I
Hmm.
know Debbie in the chat, she's really struggling. We talk a lot. In fact, she's coming over Saturday, her and her husband. And she's really struggling. She tells me she can eat something one day and it won't bother her. The next day she
Mm.
could eat the same thing and her gut is just messed up.
Mm.
I don't know how to help her. I told
Yeah.
her I would do carnivore with her. That's hard. That's hard for me.
Yeah. But I
Yeah.
believe
It's
she
really hard.
has a commonality with me that she does not have a gallbladder. So that kind of can get a little bit tricky for some, not everybody, because
Right.
I have not had my gallbladder since 2006. And I didn't have any issue with keto up until, I got closer to 3 years in, and then I started having all the IBS issues. But then again, with carnivore, I want to say probably I went through like an adjustment period of probably like the first 3 days, and I was fine. But I hear some that do have the absence of a gallbladder, they go through several weeks to long term, like months,
Right.
because they have the absence of a gallbladder. So, I mean, even Dr. Berry has suggested ox bile. There have been suggestions he's made to help those that have the issues that could very well be, bathroom issues kind of transitioning, or because they, do have the absence of a gallbladder, to kind of help to bind things, if you will. So definitely, if no one's familiar with Dr. Ken Berry, definitely go ahead and check out
They're
those
living
videos as
under a
well.
rock if they're not.
If they're not,
if
absolutely,
if they're
because
not familiar with Dr. Berry,
the
they're living under a
amount
rock.
of videos he has out there, and we're talking about videos on YouTube, content that is free of charge, you are missing out big time
Yes.
if you are not aware of Dr. Ken Berry, his channel, and the content he puts out there, because it is, oh my goodness.
I gotta ask that
Forget
question in the chat.
WebMD. Check out
Who
Dr.
is
Ken
not
Berry
in
for
the
sure.
who in the chat is not familiar with Dr. Berry? I gotta
Yeah,
ask.
definitely let us know.
He's a voice to be reckoned with on this. So,
Because if you are not aware of him, and after this you check out his channel, let us know
3
what
years
you
later, you
think.
might get through all his videos.
Oh my goodness. But you know what though? The way he has his title set up, it is
Yep.
very searchable friendly.
Oh yeah.
So if you literally just put in Dr. Berry and whatever, cholesterol, you'll have, all those pertaining videos pop up. So,
Yeah, getting
don't
started on
feel
keto 101. He's
a
got a big
lot
playlist.
carnivore, everything. You name it, he
Mhm.
has numerous videos on every single topic.
Yep. So you had
But
mentioned you had surgery on your gut, Lana. What was that about, if you don't mind me asking?
No, I don't mind at all. I had endometriosis when I was in my 30s, and I ended up having a hysterectomy because of endometriosis was so bad. But what had happened was those cells are precancerous, and they had gone into my abdomen. They'd actually left those
wow.
organs that went into my abdomen and adhered to my intestines. And so when they did that surgery, that first surgery, they scraped those cells off my intestines, and then my intestines folded and grew together. And so
Oh my
my
goodness.
intestines were a snarl, a tangle.
Wow.
And 4 years later, I had to have half my large intestine removed because of that situation there. So I
Wow.
only have half of my large intestine.
Yeah, my
But
son. Go ahead.
even at that, going to carnivore and all of that, it has not bothered me. I'm totally fine. Now, that's not to say I haven't had the runs. I have,
Right.
because you can eat too much fat
Oh yeah,
with or
absolutely.
without a gallbladder.
Mm-hmm.
You'll
Yeah.
get the runs if you do that. But it's a lot of it is learning to understand your body's responses. And when you get a feeling that that's enough, to
Right.
stop right there, not one more bite.
Yes.
Even though because I have the clean your plate syndrome. At least I
Yeah.
used to.
A lot of us do, especially, having it engraved in us from childhood.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yes,
like now
exactly.
if I don't clean my plate, my husband does.
Yeah.
Thank you, Debbie.
So it comes and goes, with the bathroom, the whole bathroom thing comes and goes, just depending on a lot of different things. I think sometimes in my journey of losing 40 pounds, but for me, that was quite a big percentage. And you get to a certain point, because I thought, well, now I'm 3 months in, I'm good. But no, around 5 months in, I went through another change in my body. It must have gone down to a certain point. I hit another wall and broke through that one. And then I had other, things come up, symptoms, and, like muscle aches. I had a lot
Yeah.
of muscle aches, especially my legs, where I'm losing weight. My muscles are not as supported by fat as they used to be.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes my muscles ache. And
Right.
that's just a part of the body's transitioning. It's changing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you get a lot of different things. I've had
'Cause
lower back
right.
pain and stuff like that. When my stomach got smaller, then my lower back wasn't as supported. And I had, because I had back trouble when I was having all those kids, I started having back trouble. That was kind of normal. I had a very tight panty girdle to support my back.
Okay. Uh-huh.
I still have that. And so if I get that lower back pain, I just go put the support on for a while. And that helps me. After a day or two, it'll level out. But going with your body and realizing there's nothing wrong.
Mm-hmm.
This is just a transition. It's just another step in the process. And we're going to get through it if you just use your tools that you have
Yeah.
to get
So
through
very
it.
true. Because there's so many stages, and I don't think a lot of people understand, all the different stages, like you say, because, our body is continuing to transform throughout this huge transition it's going through, especially, a lot of us, we were decades in to being on the standard American diet.
Yes.
So the changes the body goes through, and then all the different stages of the healing the body's going through. The body
Yes.
is not accustomed to healing the way we have it healing right now. So it's going to go through, like you say, some aches and pains here and there before we really start feeling our very best. So I think a lot of people, they don't really think about those sort of things. They kind of think of, oh, this must not really be what I should be doing or what I should be eating. And they tend to throw in the towel because of those feelings. So I appreciate you mentioning that, because I don't think a lot of people think of that perspective of it. Oh, tomorrow's my birthday. Happy birthday.
This is my daughter-in-law's name, but it's her son, my grandson's, the youngest. Tomorrow's his birthday. Today is his father's birthday. Tomorrow is his.
Oh,
And
wow.
he will be 15. Our
Oh
Wow.
my
youngest
gosh.
grandchild.
I have a 15-year-old. Oh my gosh. How exciting.
Yeah.
A
Your
very
card
happy
is in the mail
birthday.
if you didn't already get it, Chance.
That's cool. Very cool.
No, he's funny. That's my baby. He's we have 6 grandchildren ranging from 23 to 15 now. So as of tomorrow, 15.
Wow.
Twinkbrook Acres, this is
Hey,
Rick.
Rick.
Hello, all. Welcome, welcome, Rick. We hope you had a great weekend. If anyone has any questions at all for Lana, definitely go ahead and put them in the chat. But as we have it going across the screen there, definitely put a Q before it so we can definitely identify them.
I'm
I don't
posting
know if
her
I
link
got
again.
anything.
There's her link again.
I'm excited going forward because I feel better than I did, for 20 years. And the sky's the limit now. I'm looking for a dance class. And
Oh
there's a
yeah.
wellness center down about maybe 10 miles from I live way out in the country, in town, on this side of town. And I want to join over there. They have water aerobics and other things that I
Okay.
think would be fun, to do.
Yes.
One thing I did was I haven't crocheted. I used to crochet all the time. I made Afghans and all these different things when I was younger. And then my hands got stiff and I couldn't see as, the fine details
Okay.
anymore.
Right.
I made a shrug for my sister at Christmas, and I'm working on a second one right now. I can crochet pain
Oh
free.
wow.
I can see the stitches.
That is
Awesome.
amazing. And
Yeah.
that is what it's all about. And
Yeah.
that's why, I try to encourage everyone. I was just in a chat earlier on another live, and, someone was kind of getting a little underwhelmed because they were not seeing any movement any longer on the scale. And I think that's what everyone has to remember. Think of non-scale victories.
Yes.
Like really, truly, like, and the ones that you would least expect that you can claim as non-scale victories. Like
Mhm.
exactly you mentioning about the crocheting, that is absolutely a non-scale victory.
Yes.
And someone would not even think of something like that, but very much so. Yeah, you
Yes.
can
Right.
most certainly claim it as a non-scale victory because that is definitely huge, 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 huge improvement. Wow.
Yeah. It
So
feels like I've got
exciting.
my life back.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely. Very much so. I consider it like a renewed life
Yes.
because really, truly, it's like you kind of almost kind of get yourself in a thought process of what was I doing to myself? So it's kind of like you almost go through this little bit of a guilt trip, but then you kind of have to stop yourself and applaud yourself
Yes.
for discovering what you did, for taking the chance at it, because a lot of us, I'm sure a lot of us were very skeptical in the beginning, but we said, you know what? Let's give it 30 days. And then
Yes.
30 days led us to where we all are today.
Yeah.
I tell everyone when I decided to start keto, my sister Deb, who is in the chat, if she's still around, she got me started on this. She had started June of 2020 with her daughter, who was diagnosed with fatty liver disease, non alcoholic. And Debbie told her, she said, I'll do this with you. She said, just do this. Well, in the meantime, I have three sisters. All four of us are in a chat on Facebook Messenger, and she kept putting messages in the chat. Oh, we should all do this. We should all do this. For 3 months, I heard all this stuff, I read all these comments. I said, all right, I'm just going to do it. I told my husband, I'm just going to do it. That's it. That's it. And when I make up my mind, and I had thought about it previous to that, the end of September, I told my sister Deb, I said, I'm going to do it. And when I make up my mind to do something, I was so strict. It was
Mm,
crazy.
yeah.
So strict that my doctor wasn't concerned that my A1C was a little elevated. It was 5.8. He's like, you're doing what you need to do. And that was that, And like I said, within 23 months, I lost 100 pounds
Wow.
and was on blood pressure medicine for 50 years. Don't take it
Hmm.
anymore.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was like, that was probably the biggest non
Hmm.
scale victory ever
Right.
for me.
Yes.
And my A1C, the time before this was 5.0. I just found out it's 5.4 now. I'm still good. I just had blood work done. And I was telling Sana before you joined us backstage, Lana. My doctor's office called me today. I haven't even gotten to tell my sister this yet. Trying to get me to take cholesterol medication. Said your total cholesterol is 240 something. I said, so? And I said, what are my HDL and triglycerides? They're good. She said, those are fantastic. I said, that's all I care about. I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
I said, mail me the results.
Yes.
So that was that. But yeah, I mean, it stops them in their tracks. This is a new doctor's office for me, too. I said, no,
Yeah.
I'm not taking any. I had in the past, and it wasn't good. We're talking years ago. I had taken a statin. I'm like, nope, never again.
Mm.
It was bad.
Yeah. And it's just like I was telling Cindy, the way these labs have those results set up,
Mhm.
that's really all the nurses and the doctors are looking at is that result of if it's normal, if it's high, low, they're just looking for just the simple terms that stick out on the lab report.
Mm-hmm.
They're not wanting to do any calculation. So
Yeah, they
even,
told
with
me.
her mentioning, oh, well, give me, the full results, they're not expecting that. They're not expecting
Yes.
anyone to question that
Yeah.
and to figure the calculation. So
Yeah,
it
they
really,
said we
you
want
have
your.
to do your due diligence.
As she tells me on the phone, she said, we want your total to be under 200. I'm like, I'm not concerned, and I'm not taking it. My
Good for
my
you.
my past cardiologist that I won't be going back to, but he kept trying to get me on a statin. And the one year, and I've talked about this on my videos. The one year, the first year I went to him in 2022, he his office was talking to me. I said, I took a statin years ago. I couldn't do this without pain. I could not raise my
Mhm.
arm. So I quit taking it. It went away just
Yeah.
like that. I said, I will not. Well, they marked my chart allergic to statins. The same doctor a year later still tried to get me to take a statin, even though your chart says allergic to statins. And I called him out on it. He said, oh, wait, you'll be all right. And then I said, no. I said, not only that, I said, there was so much pain involved. And he looked at me, he said, you don't want to deal with the pain? I felt like slapping this man. I'm telling you, it's like,
Yeah, because
you're
you
out
feel
of
like
your
there's
ever
no
loving mind.
compassion. Yeah, there's no
I just,
compassion, no
I'm
consideration.
telling you, I looked him dead in the eye and I said, hell no, I don't want to deal with that pain.
Why
What
should
an
you?
idiot. What
Mm-mm.
an
Yeah.
idiot.
Yeah. Mm.
But that's exactly what Rick is basically mentioning. That's why I gave up on traditional doctors, just prescribe pills. Yeah. And in this case, even if you're allergic to that medication.
Yeah.
Wow.
I couldn't believe that. I'm like, that could be a big malpractice suit. Trying to
Mm.
give somebody
No,
something they're
no,
allergic to.
absolutely.
I'm like,
Absolutely.
what a jerk. But yeah, they I had to, mentioned a little while ago, I had to switch or switch doctors because the doctor's group I was in quit taking my insurance. So I didn't care. I hadn't been going to them that long, and I like the ones I'm going to now. So it's like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I just have to train them again, like I had trained my doctor in New Hampshire.
Yeah.
I
Wow.
don't, I don't hold back. I tell them what I'm doing. I'm not going to beat around the bush about it. Say I'm eating
No?
low carb. I
Yeah.
said I'm on the ketogenic way of eating. Mostly what I eat are meats, and I'm not going to change. That's it. And they
Yeah.
just okay. Just
And
sit back.
that's very
Just I'm
much,
not going to do it.
yeah, that's very much the way we have to be because, who knows about your body better than you do?
Mm-hmm.
Because for a lot of us, we have been going to these doctors for a very long time. And what they were trying to do for us did not work. And we took matters into our own hands and look where we are today. So, of
Yes.
course, Now we're going to take whatever they have to say absolutely with a grain of salt.
You are your own best advocate, not the
Absolutely.
doctor,
No,
not anything, and not anybody
no.
else.
You just have
Yeah.
to make sure you are really, really taking advantage of the benefits of the
Mhm.
information that is out there in the community. If you are not, you are definitely doing yourself a disservice, because just as Lana said, that is really truly what she's featuring on her channel is all the knowledge that she is also learning because she knows how important it is. We don't do ourselves a benefit at all by keeping this information to ourselves. We need to be advocates for ourselves, for one another, and very, very truly have yourselves having all this information to be your tools when you go to those doctor visits. And
Mhm.
do not forget, just like Dr. Barry says, your doctor works for you. Do not feel like you have to stay with that doctor because if you feel like that doctor is not working for you, doing what you feel is best for you or in your best interest, shop around.
Mhm. That's like
Definitely shop around.
my husband's endocrinologist. I mean, she's really nice. Um, his A1C as a type 1 got down to 6.1. And she was worried at first. She said, "Yeah, whatever, it's good. I don't want it going much lower." And he said, "I do." And he's never stood up, like, he's never been an advocate for himself. I have been the voice in those appointments. And I said, because she
Mm,
wanted to put him on a statin, and he had been on him for years. And after listening to Dr. Barry's videos and constant, he looked at me one day. He said, "Why am I taking this?" I said, "I don't know." He said, "I don't want to anymore."
mm,
So he talked to his
yeah.
endocrinologist, and she said, "It's highly recommended that diabetics take statins." She said, "I can't make you do it." I said, "You're right." I said, "But how about this? How about he not take them for a while and
Mm,
you do his lipid panel? And if it's going to benefit him being a type 1 diabetic to take them because
right.
his lipid panel is off,
Mm-hmm.
then we'll reopen this issue."
Mm-hmm.
Because anything that's going to help my husband,
Yes.
he's got enough going on with his diabetes
Right.
and his cervical dystonia that he has. He don't need anything else to pop up. So I am
Exactly.
definitely in there, and I'm like, I think she cringes when she walks in the door and sees me sitting there.
Well, yeah, because, as his spouse, you're his number one cheerleader.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And
And
you've been
he's
there from the very beginning, him going through this
mhm.
journey and
Yeah, for this, yeah.
the huge victories he's had.
Oh yeah. Still
Why? Why
trying
would
to get him
anyone
on
want to
here.
why would anyone want to backtrack from that?
No, he's done so well, and it's like, why don't his old endocrinologist in New Hampshire said, "Oh, you need carbs." And Brian looked at him, "No, I don't." Once he started on keto, his A1C back then was 7.9, and the doctor was okay with that. And when he reached 6.1, he was almost in tears. He said, "I never thought I'd see numbers like this."
You see?
He said, "I know I can get in a normal range, even as a type 1 diabetic." He said, "It's
Yeah.
just going to take time." It had gone up a little bit. So it's 6.4 his last visit,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah.
he still feels good, you know, and he's doing good.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like,
Yeah.
don't worry about it. Don't
Yeah.
worry about it. And his lipid panel comes out good all the time.
Yeah.
He has high HDL. Okay, that's okay.
Yeah.
So
Thankfully,
it's
Rick
like,
is someone that has had luck in finding a doctor that believes in low carb diet and fasting,
yeah.
that she even is discouraged with the Western medicine. And that doctor is a gem right there. Unfortunately, doctors like that are very rare. There is a search engine. I know Dr. Barry used to have it on his site. I don't know if it's fixed as of yet, but I know Dr. Kiltz has it on his website. But there is a search engine to try to locate a keto and carnivore friendly doctor, and it is
Hmm.
listed by state. So if you are shopping around for a doctor, definitely try that search engine out. Sometimes it can work in your favor. Sometimes you might have to really go through, a good distance uh, when it comes to, within your state where that doctor is located, because as I said, they are definitely rare. But
Now, if
thankfully,
Dr.
we
Barry was
have,
taking patients, I'm in Kentucky. He's in Tennessee. I'd be
yeah.
sure to take that trip.
Oh, yes. And that's the thing. I think that's why it's kind of, for him, it's a fine line because they are still a very young family.
Mhm.
And you can only imagine what his wait list would look like if he ever, opened up that opportunity.
Yes. I interviewed Dr. Robert Sivas, and he is a metabolic health specialist.
Yes.
And that's a new sector, a new division of
Hmm.
specialists. And he is so pro this lifestyle.
Yeah.
And he was a researcher, and they did tests with fat and liver. And he said they tested livers with fat, and he said livers love fat. They're singing kumbaya, he said.
Yeah. He's also a bariatric surgeon who
He
tries to
is,
keep his
yes.
patients away from having surgery.
Hmm.
Yes,
It's
yes.
like
He's
Dr.
actually in Jacksonville here near me. I was so delighted when I found out he was close.
Yep.
He also has an office that's not too far from us. It's a 35-minute drive south. So yeah, he definitely is.
Jupiter.
Thankfully he's widespread
Yeah.
here in Florida. Yeah.
Where are you located, Sana?
We're in I can share like backstage.
Okay.
But we are about like 35 minutes north of Jupiter
Okay.
and like 45 minutes north of West Palm Beach. So we're like literally right smack in the middle of everything.
Hmm. I'm way over here between Tallahassee and Jacksonville, halfway between
Yeah, so you're
Tallahassee and
really
Jacksonville.
out there.
Yeah,
Hours
Have,
away from us, unfortunately, because it would have been cool to have you closer.
have you
it
been to
would.
any of the Florida meetups, Lana?
I would love to know about them. I heard about one. I couldn't go because I had something else going on in Jacksonville, but I would love to
Mm,
know, when
I
they're going to be.
know I don't know how far Clearwater is from you.
I think that's too far. I think it's more like 4 or 5
yeah,
hours from here.
Oh, that's
right.
how
Because the
far I
one that
go to
meets up,
Indiana, right, Dustin?
yeah, the one that
Yeah.
meets up is in Clermont, and even for me, that's it's a ways of a drive. But they do Friendsgivings. They have a lot of different meetups coming up. They're going to be doing Buffalo Wild Wings, a tea party. So they have a lot of different fun
Mhm.
activities.
Yeah, if you go
It's
to
just a good distance.
lowcarbevents.com,
Okay.
Lana, they have a lot of things listed there.
Okay.
But if you can get away to a convention, Keto Palooza is the one you want to go to.
I've heard of that.
That is so much fun, and tickets are going on sale Friday,
Oh, wow.
and they're going to sell quick.
Yeah,
That's in Louisville, Kentucky, and man, it is a blast.
yeah,
It is
like they
so much
always
fun.
do.
It
Yeah,
is.
Wow.
Renee's sharing. She is on her fourth shopping trip for a doctor, getting tired of having to pay them to find out they suck. Unfortunately, that is the way it goes because shopping around for a doctor, it is literally like you feel like you are giving them a job interview. Really, truly, that's how you feel. Like you're conducting a job interview on them, and it gets difficult because sometimes you have to be, so many visits in to know their full intention for your plan of care. So It's not easy because you definitely have to put up that cost
Yes.
to find out where their mindset is at. Oh, yes. The downside to naturopathic or holistic doctor is insurance doesn't always cover the visits. I have to pay out of pocket, but my health is more important to me. Yes, and absolutely, because if you are someone like Cindy shared her non-scale victory, that she is off medication that she was on for 50 years. And the fact that she no longer has to pay that cost, that could definitely make do for having to pay, what this comes out to be. Because, like myself, like thankfully, I don't get sick like I used to get sick very often, like colds and flus and, all these viruses going on out there. I don't get sick very often. So, all these little bits of things, definitely financially, they add up where, yeah, we can afford, those annual visits to see the doctor we want to see, even if it has to be out of pocket. Here, Dustin is sharing. Everyone take a moment to hit the like button, share out on your social media, help these ladies spread their message. Thank you so much, Dustin. We appreciate you. And here he's sharing a key track of all the meetups. Yep, lowcarbevents.com. So for anyone that's not familiar, that is definitely where everything is all in one spot of all the keto, carnivore, ketovore, everything proper human diet
All
is
right.
on
That's
there.
actually run by the people from Keto Chow. So
Yes.
they have a form to fill out if you want to have one of your own. If you
Right.
want to organize one, you get some information and you fill out this
Mm-hmm.
form and he'll put it up there so people can see it.
Yes. So that would be Chris and
That's
Miriam
nice.
there. And that is what it's all about because they know how important community is. So we're thankful they make that available um, because you never know what events or what meetups are local to you or even a reasonable drive away from you. So definitely go ahead and check it out if you are not aware of the site. Yeah, I will drive upwards of like 4 hours to visit with people. Yeah,
I
Dustin.
have.
Oh, wow. Here he's sharing. I've driven 6 hours for a meetup conference in Tennessee. Yeah, six
That's the
hours is
one that's run by
definitely,
Dr. Barry. Yep.
yeah, definitely a good drive being 6 hours. Susan sharing, I was born in St. Petersburg, Florida, moved and lived 75 miles north in Citrus County, Florida. Oh, okay. And moved to South Carolina in 2004. Okay, yes. Yes, I'm familiar with both. Very, very cool.
My sister lives in South Carolina. I'm in South Carolina quite a bit.
Okay.
My sister Deb lives in South Carolina also.
Share about where or around where, Susan, in South Carolina. Welcome, Ellie. Hi there. Welcome, welcome. Happy Monday. We hope you had a great weekend. Oh, here, Jay sharing. Tonight I made the cream cheese meatballs. My son devoured them. Yeah, and that's the thing. A lot of the recipes that you will find all over the place, it is so adaptable to
Mhm.
any family member. So really, truly, I always tell everyone, as long as nobody has like any allergies to what, you are trying to serve them, but anything that's carnivore, ketovore, keto, don't even tell them. It is labeled as such, just present it as real food that you cooked.
Yeah.
And best believe they will be wanting the recipe off of you. Because even our kids, people are shocked, when I tell them that they just hit 5 years keto and they're shocked and they feel like, oh, aren't they deprived? No, because they're eating real food.
Yes.
What is there about deprivation when it comes to real food? Ah, welcome. We have Jason from Just Jason Keto and More. He's commenting on 4 hours. Well, you had your first trip to Ketopalooza all the way from Canada. Okay, so he's sharing the one in Tennessee is Amanda Decker. So it's not the Dr. Barry one he's referencing. But still very
Oh,
cool though. Very, very cool that you take that trip. Very awesome. All right,
yeah,
so we do have a follow-up from Susan. I'm in the upstate about an hour southeast of Greenville, if either of
yeah.
you know
Lana
where that
responded.
is.
That's the same area, same exact
Oh,
area.
very cool. Very, very cool. Yeah.
How
So
haven't we
really,
met yet, Susan?
you
How is it
see,
we haven't met?
might have because that's just it. Some of us we have crossed paths with
Yeah,
one another, and little do we know that we have.
yeah.
Very, very cool. Oh, yes, you are very welcome, Ellie. So here's just commenting on the low carb event page. All right, so we are almost, we're actually at the 1 hour and 20-minute mark. So, Lana, we definitely want to respect and appreciate your time because we definitely did go over our usual 1 hour. But you know what they say when you are in good company and enjoyable company, time definitely gets away from you. But I want to be able to give you the opportunity if you want to give any parting words to those that are watching and possibly share anything that you have not already. And also kind of let us know what are your upcoming plans, either with your journey or with your channel.
Okay. Thank you, Sana. This has been so much fun. I'm so glad that
Yeah,
I got to spend
yeah.
time with you guys. Um, so I was interviewing someone, I think it was Michael Collins on my channel, and he he deals with sugar addiction specifically. And he was talking about the fact that in his community, they have these live streams going around the clock. Different people will be on so that when someone has a sugar, craving or one of those addiction episodes, they can come into this live stream and stay with someone until it passes. And that really did land with me. And I realized the value of the live streams because I'm a super busy person. I'm always on the go. And sometimes it's hard for me to sit still and be in a live stream. But when he told me that, it just, I was so grateful for people like you, Sana and Cindy, that you do this. And this is so valuable. It's so valuable. We need each other. We need to be together.
Mhm.
We need to hear each other's questions and communicate and share the journey with each other, because that's how we get strength to
Right.
break through the sad diet addiction
Mhm.
and continue on this journey. And that is absolutely amazing. So I just want to say a big, giant thank you for you guys to be so faithful every single week. You're here, you spend your time, you put your heart into it. And it just means so much. And I know it means more than we will ever know, because we don't know what's going on behind every person, watching.
Mhm.
um, but it is amazing. So that's really all I wanted to say. I have some really great guests coming up, that have so much wisdom to share, and all of that. We're just taking it one step at a time. There's no big fireworks going off. This is life. This is life
That's
here.
right.
One day at a time, 1 week at a time. That's all we're doing.
No,
Yep.
absolutely. And we wholeheartedly appreciate you. And just as you said, it is so important to really truly have this be a community, a very welcoming community, because one that's starting out, it can definitely be overwhelming. It could definitely be scary. There's so many emotions you could be going through, especially, with our health already kind of being in the dumps. You get fearful that, oh my gosh, am I going to do this and feel worse? So having, all of us be transparent, having all of us be able to share, even though each one of us, our journeys are very unique to what we're specifically choosing to do. But then again, it has worked for each and every one of us. And I think it's so important, to just kind of have everyone share their journey and really shape, really truly what is the community. So no, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on, and
Yes.
anyone that we have had come on already, um, because everyone has been just absolutely just so unique with their journey. But then again, that is so important because there is that one person or those few people that that journey resonates with, that they didn't think there would ever be anyone that would have a commonality with them. But
Mhm.
here, lo and behold, you're sharing your journey and they're shocked that, wow, I, I've been in this community for a year, never come across anyone that has so much in common with me. And lo and behold, we're featuring somebody
Yep.
that's going through exactly what they're going through. So that is what is all about for us. Cindy and I, we are both on, different paths. With me with carnivore, doing slower introductions, her with more so ketovore. And that is definitely okay with us. From day one when we started this, that was very much okay with us because people need to see the differences that are out there and see that we all are just doing what works best for us. And it definitely still works. So I
Well,
thank you so much for sharing that.
as a community, if we can just
Hmm.
help each person, just help one
Yes,
person,
even one.
that's a lot. That's a
Yeah,
lot of people.
yeah,
And it's like, that's why I did start my
it's
channel. It was
huge.
like, I have the story of my gastric bypass. I have the knee replacements saga because I had problems there.
Hmm.
But
Yeah,
yeah, if I can help somebody not do the things that I've done,
absolutely.
wow, that's
Yeah.
powerful. Or just
Yeah,
help somebody through something.
it truly is. Yeah,
It is. It's just like
yeah,
it's heartwarming to know
yeah,
that you can help somebody else.
yeah.
And
When you
that's
have someone come back in your comment section and they're telling you, you know what? I gave this a try. And you know what? I noticed XYZ is not bothering me anymore. you
Mhm.
know, I,
Yeah.
I think, my doctor is going to take me off of this medication. And it's huge because, none of us on this panel right here have any sort of medical degree. But then again, just based off on personal experience, do not feel that you cannot change someone's life. Because even based off on personal experience, what you have gained in the knowledge of all the healing you've gone through, all the non-scale victories you've gone through, that is huge for someone. And a lot of times, that's what people want to hear. They want to hear those personal experiences, and they don't really need initially to hear all the medical jargon behind it. All of that can come later on.
yep.
So do not ever think that your story is not of any value. That's why Cindy and I always encourage anyone that even does not have a channel or they have their story, their journey to share, definitely email, reach out to either of us. We would love to have you on, because we've just had an absolute blast with this. So thank you so much for your
Yes.
sweet, kind words, Lana, because we absolutely love doing this. And we are so excited for the guests that we have. That are coming up in the near future because they all are just such valuable assets to this community, just like yourself. And we wish you all the best. Keep on
Yes.
doing what you are doing. You have so many exciting things coming up. And I'm super excited for the interviews that you have coming up because it's going to be huge, a huge abundance of just knowledge and information. And that is definitely what it's all about.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank
But
you. Well,
everyone,
everybody in the chat, thank you so
yes.
much. I beat you to it, Sana. We
Yes,
really
thank
appreciate
you
you.
so much, especially for a Monday because this is definitely not our norm. Usually we are on Fridays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So this Friday, just heads up to everybody, we will not be on this Friday. So this day of Monday is the replacement for Friday's live. But as always, thank you so much, everyone. We appreciate you all. Thank you so much for being here. And if you have not subbed to Lana already, Cindy has throughout the chat been posting her link. So thank you so much, Cindy. We appreciate you for that. But definitely go ahead and show her some love in the form of a sub. Here Cindy goes again, just to kind of have it to the bottom of the chat for everybody. But thank you so much, everybody. We hope you have a wonderful week ahead.
Bye.